Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Key Issues podcast. And as always, it's been a while and we apologize. Life events happen.
I'm not apologizing.
Garrick does not apologize. I apologize in his stead. I am Nick, your host. With me, as always, Mr. Garrick Gilmore.
Here we go again, episode 5. Nick doxing me once again with my last name.
And here we go. I left my volume on my computer, and there you go, for monitoring purposes.
That's
professionalism, peak professionalism.
That's how you know we're, in the groove.
Now, you might notice, if you're, a longtime viewer, that I'm clearly missing all of my hair. And I just wanted to apologize if that's a shock to anybody.
It's there. It's just a lot shorter.
It's just a little tiny hair. I thought it would make me look cool, like maybe like a Jason Statham thing, or possibly even like Elliot Stabler in the newer seasons of SVU, and I just look like a
Kratos.
Yeah, something like that. Instead, it's just me, fat face and all, with bald head now. There you go.
Yep.
So that's what we're dealing with. Apologize to the people who there are Facebook groups dedicated to how my hair looked before. Hopefully they remain. Now that it's like
they're going to be torn asunder.
Yeah, it's going to be a big thing.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot of stuff since the last time we saw you guys, and it's kind of hard to consistently stay to our podcast. It's actually really not hard. We're just really bad at it because
the last thing we talked about was Shang-Chi, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Hasn't been any out of the 4 podcasts we've done have just been reviews.
Yeah. So I'm glad that we're not doing a review today. We're just talking about random stuff.
Reviewing New York Comic Con while we're here.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna talk about stuff I got going on. I'm not talking about New York.
Sure.
I'll talk about New York, but mostly like what we ate, places we went. The Lion King, that was good. So we went to, as we've alluded to already, we went to New York Comic Con. Garrick had a birthday. Happy birthday. You're now 30 years old. And you don't look a day over 40 years old. So congrats.
Thank you.
Anything you want to say? Anything you've learned in these 30 years? Any advice you want to give to people that are out there, look up to you, the kids, the small ones, like my kid, my kids?
I have some advice.
Stay out of podcasts. Stay out of YouTube. This is our turf.
Whatever you do, don't start a YouTube channel that has anything to do with comic books, all right, kids? There's too many of us already, all right? I need to feed my family.
Garrick says, I'll bust you up.
I'm 30.
Yeah. Did you have like a Bo Burnham moment where you just stared at the clock and when it turned you were like, fine?
I was staring in the mirror the whole day, just looking at my wrinkles. I had
both of them
gray hair.
I don't want to hear shit about gray hair, bro.
Well, I had one. I had a couple.
That's
actually.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So
I have a ton, like almost all of
pretty
my
much
hair.
Exclusively. Yeah, only gray.
My mom's hair was completely silver by the time she was my age, so it makes sense that mine is. But it's all downhill for me. Getting fat, shave my head. Who knows? Next time you see me, I'll have like a fucking hook for a hand, eye patch.
I think gray hair is cool.
Well, you don't live with it every day.
Well, once I do, I'll keep it. I'm not gonna dye my hair. I'm not gonna be, touch of gray.
Just for men?
Just for men, no sir.
If
anything, it's going to be a touch of brown and mostly gray. But it could come in and like not be a good gray.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It could be like an ugly gray.
Yeah.
I want white hair.
White hair?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be sick. But I'm not sure it's in the cards for me. We'll see.
We'll figure it out. So, all right, let's kind of jump into the stuff that we've been up to. So the first thing that we want to spend a little bit of time talking about is New York Comic Con and what we were doing there. So first off, we went to New York, which was fun.
We did.
There was a 4-day event that maybe some of you guys have heard about. It's a comic book convention that really doesn't have a whole lot of comic books at it. It's mostly other stuff there. New York Comic Con was a little bit smaller this year in terms of vendors. So if you guys went, you might notice that there was a little bit less vendors there, a little bit more space to walk through the aisles, a little bit less people, it seemed like. But overall, it was still pretty fun. I found it to be pretty good, in the sense that everybody had to be vaccinated to get in. You had your little wristbands to walk around. You had to show proof of vaccination or proof of negative COVID test to get in each day. And it was cool, man. The panels were good. We're going to talk about 2 of them that we got to check out. And then other than that, I want to talk about stuff that we bought because that was also fun in New York. But we're not going to flex on people. We're just going to talk about comic books and cool stuff that we got around the city. Because if you go to New York and you don't buy cool stuff, then did you even really go?
Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah. So the first panel I wanted to talk about was there was a combination panel for Philip Kennedy Johnson. And I'm sorry, you'll have to Google it for a second, but the writer of Harley Quinn was also there, one of the newer ones. I forgot her name. I apologize. I will Google it in like 10 seconds when the camera isn't directly on me. But I was mostly there for Superman news. So in there's been a lot of discussion on the internet about the Injustice movie. Did you get a chance to watch it yet? The Injustice animated film?
No.
Okay, well, it's not getting great reviews. Every person that I've seen that watched it is not too happy with it. For those of you who don't know, Tom Taylor wrote a massive 3-year arc of Injustice based around the NetherRealm Studio video game.
The comics are very good.
Yeah, they're fun. There's just a lot of material and a lot of characters. It's an Elseworld story. There are a bajillion different story arcs, and they all center around the same idea, which is Superman loses Lois Lane to the Joker. She dies, and he becomes this like megalomaniac who takes over the Earth. And it's a classic case of Superman is evil. And because of that, there's been a lot of discussion about Superman being evil. And one of the main central points of the Superman panel from Philip Kennedy Johnson was that under his watch as the newest writer of Action Comics, the premier flagship title for Superman, he did mention that he's not going to revert to Superman being an evil character, which is pretty good. I think that trope has kind of been done to death. He compared his Superman to his ideal vision of Superman to be very similar to the Christopher Reeve persona of Superman. So I kind of wanted to take a second and talk a little bit with Garrick about like your thoughts on, I guess, evil Superman and why you think that character works so well within comic, or why so many people are gravitating towards an evil Superman and kind of what you like out of that character. Because I thought that when I was listening to the panel, that was a pretty interesting topic for discussion. So have you read any stories with Superman where he's evil, Injustice, things like...
There's like a million of
yeah.
them.
So
Yeah, I mean, evil Superman is a thing that is kind of being done to death at this point.
and it's evil, I guess I should also...
I'm not a big fan of it personally because it's just, it happens so often.
I should also mention that kind of the another central backbone, the crux of the discussion was like how the Superman archetype, the super strong guy, the alien dude who comes to Earth, flies around, way stronger than all the Earthlings, the kind of central narrative for that type of character. More often than not in the last few years, that archetype has been an evil character, whether it be Superman in Injustice, the character of Brightburn in that film, Omni-Man, who's a very, very popular character. And then you might even see other characters that are similar to that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe popping up. People like
Homelander.
Yeah, Homelander's another one. I can't believe I forgot, considering our channel used to run on The Boys News. But anywho, what do you think about
like I was saying, Superman being evil, or its evil megalomaniac superpowered being like Superman, is kind of being done a lot, and it's getting a little old. And I don't know. I like my Superman bright, hopeful, and the Man of Tomorrow. That's my kind of Superman. And it's cool every once in a while to maybe explore something else where Superman's not as optimistic or hopeful or whatever. But I feel like it's too much recently, and it doesn't have the same shock value that it once had. And Yeah, I don't know. There can be like morally complex Supermen. I think that's fine. But if you're just going to be Superman, Clark Kent, I prefer the, you know, Superman that we all know and love.
I think
But like I said, exploring more complex characters is fun, but a lot of the time it just seems like we're, you know, pushing them into a specific lane that Superman's not necessarily meant to be in. Although I do like Omni-Man a lot, but I think the other ones are pretty one note and just not all that interesting.
I think that out of all of the characters that we've seen debut, like you said, they have to have they have to be morally conflicted and have to be written well in order for the character to kind of stick the landing. I think Homelander in The Boys is a great example where he's a pretty complex character, but he's also a wretched like piece of shit. So I think that's a great example of a character that is like the evil Superman archetype. But to that end, characters like the Brightburn character, that was a horrible film in my opinion. I didn't really care for it very much. I mean, I shouldn't say it was horrible, but I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was kind of one note. And I think that one of the things that's cool with all this, the Injustice, The Boys, Brightburn, Invincible, those types of characters out there, I think one of the things that I like about what DC Comics is doing with Superman right now is they seem to be trying their best to kind of bring him back to his roots. And one of the things that I've seen discussed on the internet in the last couple of days has been the changing of Superman's motto again. And this is something that happens relatively frequently. It's something that we'll discuss in greater lengths in a future podcast when we have a special guest that's upcoming that we'll announce later once all those details have been hammered out. But in the last week, DC made the announcement that they were going to be changing Superman's motto from Truth, Justice, and the American Way to Truth, Justice, and a Better Tomorrow, which I think kind of fits with the idea that a lot of these authors are presenting now, where Superman is kind of the archetype for hope, and for the things that he embodied in that slogan, a better tomorrow, not just the American way of life, a better tomorrow for the planet, and a lot of things that we've seen Superman stepping up to the plate and discussing in comics, things like climate change, activism, things of that nature. I mean, stuff he's always been kind of aware of, but just some really interesting stuff that DC's doing with the character. I don't know if you have any thoughts about it, but I thought it was interesting that they changed the slogan, and I thought it was a good change. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too political, but it's kind of hard to avoid when the previous motto or slogan or whatever had the American way in it. But the American way isn't always the greatest thing. America's not perfect. America's done a lot of very shitty things before, and I think the American people try their best, and maybe that's what you should try to embody with the American way. But I think A Better Tomorrow fits Superman more aptly because, again, he is a character that fights for everyone and everybody in the entire universe, not necessarily just in the United States because he was raised here and lives here. That doesn't mean he doesn't care about everyone else on the planet. So, and I think the previous motto, kind of excluded everyone else. Trying to say that America is the best or America is better than wherever you're from. And Superman represents somewhere that's better than where you come from, and you should try to be more American because Superman's American, and it just seemed like it's propaganda. And Better Tomorrow's just better.
Superman is a much like Batman, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man. He's a cultural icon. He's a larger than life figure, and he's beloved all over the world. And I'm assuming that if aliens are as technologically advanced as they are, they've probably hacked into our Netflix and all of our channels by now, and they're probably a big fan as well too. So I have to imagine that aliens are out there thinking, God damn, this guy's actually pretty cool. Henry Cavill's jacked as shit. But You know, I think that they want to expand. They want to bring Superman back kind of to a bit more of a morally positive light for the character, and kind of shed a little bit of the evilness that has been associated with the character for the last couple years, with him being involved in so many kind of Elseworld style stories. There's been a lot of those types of things happening. Dark Knight's DC Metal or Death Metal. Like we mentioned, the Injustice animated movies. There's all these projects where he's a little bit less hopeful of a character, and I think they're kind of trying to move back towards there. There's also some other cool stuff happening. I know I've kind of gravitated a little bit away from the panel that was there, but Philip Kennedy Johnson did discuss that a lot in his panel, and what he was going to be going for with the character going forward. And he does have a new arc coming out that started in October called War World, where you'll see him face off against Mongol and some other characters. This will be pretty cool. I'm definitely going to check that out. That book is something that I kind of follow that author a good bit, so I'm really excited to see where he takes the character, because he wrote things like The Last God, Alien, some other books that I've really enjoyed. So it's to see him be on Superman on Action Comics for a while, and this is not his like first issue. He's been on there for a couple months already, so it's pretty cool to see. Other than that, the other panel we got a chance to check out part of, was the Donny Cates panel. Donny Cates, kind of the superstar writer of Marvel right now, but he's been all over the country, or all over the map. Sorry, shouldn't say country. He's because it doesn't make any sense. And that's not what I was trying to say at all. He's doing his own creator-owned project. He mentioned called Vanish, which sounds a bit. I'll discuss it in a minute, but it sounds a bit like the comic Birthright. By Joshua Williamson, which was interesting the way he described it. I'm sure they're not even remotely close, but the way he described it, I was like, this sounds a little bit like Birthright, and that's one of my favorite comics. But he did get a chance to kind of talk a little bit about some of the stuff that he was doing. He did 2 different event comics that we've covered in other videos on our channel, Absolute Carnage and The King in Black. He was also he was the writer of the tremendously popular Venom series that a lot of people have been reading, tremendously popular run on Thanos. He's introduced a bajillion different characters that people really dig, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Null, the god of the symbiotes. All kinds of stuff. So he also mentioned that he's going to be doing a new. He's going to be doing a new event for Thor called the God of Hammers, which was released or was discussed earlier this week. It wasn't discussed at that panel, but it was announced. So he kind of mentioned that everything that he's doing moves one direction. So one book will talk to the other book, and what's going to be happening in that old Thanos run will culminate in some of these other books that he has coming up. So those are really cool, because a lot of Marvel material is going to be pulling from that due to the success of those characters and the success of how popular people like Null and Thanos and Cosmic Ghost Rider and all these characters that he's been working with over the last couple years have become. Just today, there was a comic released with Throg, the frog Thor, in it, and it's a tremendously popular character already. Some really cool covers and stuff that was going on there, but I just thought that it was really cool. There was not as many panels at New York Comic Con as in previous years. I do know that another thing that they got a chance to do is they basically surprised one panel surprised the entire audience with a full screening of the new Ghostbusters film, and Garrick and I were like, should we go to that? And then we skipped it, and we could have probably seen the whole film, but
what can you do?
Yeah, this is us. This is the life that we live.
I mean, I'm not a big Ghostbusters guy, so I'm not going to pretend that I'm that broken up about it. But
I'm a big Paul Rudd guy. He's in it, so
the Rudster.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yep. So, what kind of stuff did you buy in New York, huh?
I got some cool stuff. So the first day we were there, I went and got a whole bunch of really, really good Star Wars The High Republic variants that I did not have. So I picked up 5 of those. And then I basically went around the con looking for Star Wars comics that I hadn't had a chance to get, because when I was reading all of the Star Wars comics, it was leading up to The Rise of Skywalker, As it just so happened, right before The Force Awakens, I got super excited for that film. Obviously, I think everybody on the planet did. And then, of course, my Star Wars hype was at an all-time high. And then The Last Jedi, the lead up to that, same thing. And then the lead up to The Rise of Skywalker, again, same thing, where I was just super invested into Star Wars. And this time I was like, I'm going to read everything. So I went on our Marvel Unlimited. I read all of the Star Wars comics, literally every Star Wars comic that's in canon. I read it, and it was sick. And now I want to own some of the comics that I had gone through and read. But unfortunately, a lot of them are getting a little expensive because of, the comic book speculation market and all that. So a character, Kanan from Star Wars Rebels, an animated kids show that was on Disney XD years back. He had a comic book, and now there's speculation that all those characters that first appeared in the Rebels TV show and then subsequently appeared in this comic book, it would be like a Harley Quinn situation. She first appeared in Batman the Animated Series and then in the comics later. Same thing like that. There's a lot of speculation that these characters are going to be playing major roles in the Star Wars universe moving forward. One of them, Ezra specifically, is a Jedi that should still be alive during the time of The Mandalorian. So there's thinking that Ahsoka and Sabine, another character from the show that's also in this comic, are going to team up to find him. So he'd be another Jedi, and that would be, 3 Jedi alive during this time: Luke Skywalker, Ahsoka, and Ezra. So when you're one of 3 Jedi alive during a pretty pivotal moment in Star Wars history, you're going to be a pretty important character. And if they're bringing him into live action, obviously that's going to play into things. I just want the comics because I read them and I like them, but they're super expensive now.
Whatever,
so
you scalper. You're trying to get them and flip them and use it to pay for, I don't know, more Star Wars comics. Because actually, it's funny. I mean, I know that you collect them, and you've never really mentioned like flipping them. Garrick went from being like a diehard DC only, primarily Batman reader to like now consumes every bit of Star Wars media that comes out. They send him all the books for free. All that stuff is great. But I do have a serious Star Wars question for you. It's a minor divergence. I'm just going to go down this road for 2 seconds. Would you be cool with them recasting Luke Skywalker?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to know. So, like, if they just were like, hey, buddy, we're going to hire you to be Luke Skywalker, you'd be totally fine with that. And now we got a new Luke Skywalker. He's in all the supplemental material going forward. We don't have to worry about it?
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's fine with me. I think it would be cool too. I'd like to see some more live, like that stuff, that scene at the end of season 2 of Mandalorian, like it broke my heart. It was like the greatest thing ever. I waited my whole life to see that. So it'd be cool to see more of that character, of Luke Skywalker in that age. So it'd be cool.
Yeah, we have no information really about Luke Skywalker during the time where he had defeated Darth Vader and started training Kylo Ren. I mean, we have The Rise of Kylo Ren by Charles Soule, which is a 4-part miniseries, and I did get issue 3 of that when we were in New York Comic Con, which is the first appearance of Avar Kriss, which is a character in the High Republic, which is the huge multimedia project that Star Wars had recently launched at the beginning of last year, and or at the beginning of this year, and so that was her first appearance. I went and got that signed by Charles Soule. But yeah, we have a little bit of Luke training Kylo during that time, and that's 4 issues of that comic book. And then we know like little tidbits here or there. But really, it's a wide open area where you can do whatever you want with Luke. We're getting a book upcoming where he's going to team up with Lando Calrissian, and apparently they're going to be trying to save Rey's parents from being killed by Ochia Bestoon, who is the Sith assassin which killed them in The Rise of Skywalker. So that book should be pretty cool. But yeah, there's a lot of space to either do stuff with Luke in live action. Maybe you could do an animated series with like him and Kylo or something. But yeah, there's a lot of room to play with. So exciting stuff coming up in Star Wars for sure. But yeah, that's what I spent my New York doing, looking for Star Wars comics.
I ended up filling in like a bunch of random Spider-Man issues that I didn't have from some of the newest runs. I got a variant that I didn't have. My big purchase was Spider. Oh, God, I don't remember the issue number. Spider-Man Annual 14
This is embarrassing
or
for you.
19. I'll Google it when no one's looking. So the first appearance of Monica Rambeau. So I was a big fan of that character when she was in Mighty Avengers, but I hadn't really read anything about her prior to that. I'd never really read her old appearances as Captain Marvel when she was in the Avengers throughout the very, very late 80s, early 90s. And then I went back and I read a ton of them when I made my history comic book origins video for that character. And I really started to like her a lot. And then as she got more and more involved in WandaVision, I really started to hope that we get more of that character within the MCU. And then the day after I bought it, a ton of rumors started circling online that there is a Spectrum or Monica Rambeau show coming to Disney Plus, which at this point, if you're a character in Marvel, there is a rumor that you're getting a Disney Plus show. That is the law. It's like everyone. America Chavez, Disney Plus show. Moon Knight, Disney Plus. I mean, some of these we know are characters that are coming to their own Disney Plus shows, but there's more rumors for characters than not. And she's one of the ones that people are highly speculating. A lot of sources are saying that there's in early talks, development, writing, things of that nature. And I don't know. I just thought the character was really cool, and I'm glad I snagged that book when I did, because I got it for pretty cheap in very, very good condition. And it was just something that I wanted, and I've kind of been collecting. I've kind of been limiting what I collect to characters that I really like, and mostly selling off junk that I don't really care about as much. So that was one of my big purchases. I also picked up 2 or 3 Eternals books that I didn't have. I got the first appearance of Cersei, who's right here. This is her action figure. Hi. And
Oh my God.
shit, this is a nightmare. Athena's falling over. Just close the podcast. This is unprofessional.
Okay.
Anyway, no, I got the first appearance of Cersei. Was a character that for years that book was something that I was like, I could pick that up for cheap, and then I just waited until it cost more, and because that's the type of person I am, I'm an idiot. But I have that. So I have actually most of the first appearances of all of the Eternals. I've been working on finishing out that first run, which if I would have done this a couple years ago, I could have probably cleared out the whole thing for $100 or so, and now it's costing me more than that. But what can you do? I mean, every book is speculation, and I really think that the Eternals as a film looks fantastic. I think a lot of these characters are going to be very unique, going to be very interesting within the zeitgeist of the MCU and how they all fan out. I think it'll be really cool. It'll add a lot of cosmic spectacle to the Marvel Cinematic Universe with all of the Celestials and all that stuff that's happening. So I'm really excited to see where it goes. It's definitely my most anticipated Marvel movie, and it has been my most anticipated Marvel movie for a while. Garrick's looking at me, just making this face right now. He's going, but it is. And he knows that it is, for me at least. He's ready for Spider-Man because he's, you know what, we're not going to do another podcast about Spider-Man. We just did one the other day. We can't do it again. All right, let's talk about Spider-Man for 2 hours.
We need to talk about
Tobey
DC
Maguire.
Fandome.
No, okay.
We're gonna need to talk about.
So anyway, that was our trip to New York for New York Comic Con. We also got many, many, many delicious meals, which, just a quick shout out, Liberty Bagels in Midtown Manhattan. Fantastic. You need to go there. Get yourself the works. It's bacon, a full hash brown, egg, cheese, on a big old thick everything
and
bagel.
Sausage.
Full sausage patty. That was great. We also went to Joe's, which you
gotta go to Joe's.
You got to go to Joe's. It's illegal if you're a comic book fan to go to New York in Manhattan and not get Joe's. For those of you who don't know, Joe's, also the pizza parlor that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man worked at in Spider-Man. I almost said Amazing Spider-Man. Sorry. So you got to go there. That's a rule. We went to a steakhouse called Uncle Jack's that was pretty good. They had baked potatoes that were the size of like watermelons. They were massive. It didn't make any sense.
Interesting thing about that place is all the waiters and waitresses wore tuxedos.
Yeah, interesting indeed.
Yeah, which is cool.
I hate your guts.
Me?
This is a point of contention for the way that we remembered that evening going. But anyway, we went there. We went and saw The Lion King on Broadway, which I didn't know I was a musical fan.
A Broadway fan.
I didn't know I was a Broadway fan until we went there. And now
I'm a big Broadway guy.
I'm a Broadway guy now.
We were initially supposed to go see Aladdin, and the day before it got canceled randomly. Probably COVID stuff. So last second we went and got some Lion King tickets, and we went to see that instead. But yeah, that was very, very good. And also we went to Toto Ramen. Shout out to Toto Ramen, the best ramen in the world.
We went there twice.
In Hell's Kitchen, if you're ever there, go eat that.
I feel like I have like a weird, I'm looking at myself in the thing and I feel like I have a weird posture. So I'm just going to sit up for the rest of the time.
All right.
You know, or something.
You're a little hunched over.
Yeah, I was like,
You are.
comic books are hard.
Yeah.
Boo. But I'm going to sit up a little bit more.
We also went to the Harry Potter store.
Oh, we did a VR thing there. That was cool. Dobby helped us slay a dragon.
Yeah.
My wand didn't work because I wasn't casting spells right.
You weren't saying them. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You have to say Wingardium
I was
Leviosa.
so hungry.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun, and we did a little bit of shopping there. We did a whole bunch of random stuff around New York, but that's kind of what you got to do when you're in the city. Go check out cool stuff. Went to this awesome bar called Break Bar, where after you finished your drink, they rinse it out for you. You could go in the back and smash it. In this like throwing range, they had like targets and stuff. You just smash your drink. And Nick was talking to the bartender. He came over and he gave us this giant bottle that was literally like this big, of some Japanese
it was like a
drink.
It was like a rice wine, almost like a sake or something. But it was just a big bottle, and then Garrett got to throw it in the back room. That was funny.
Absolutely smashed it. But that place was cool. So yeah, New York was fun. And even though New York Comic Con wasn't as big and bustling, and there weren't as many things going on, the last time we were there, we were absolutely packed with panels. We were in panels like every single day, all day, and different events going on throughout the city. But, you know, with COVID and all that stuff going on, it was a little bit smaller this year. I'm sure they will expand it once everything is cool and good to go.
It was kind of nice, though, in some regards, because a lot of times we don't get to spend as much time on the show floor and like looking for stuff and kind of like goofing around. And my wife came with us, so we spent a good bit of time on the floor just kind of looking at things and you know, trying to actually, you know, kind of enjoy the regular comic convention experience rather than being stuck in lines waiting for a panel to start or you know, to sit through an hour.
At the last New York Comic Con we went to, we were at all day Saturday. We were at Madison Square Garden. We went to the Good Omens panel, and then we went to, what was after that? Spider-Verse, Sandman panel, the Daredevil panel. So that was literally all day.
The greatest panel of all time, the Daredevil season 3 panel. That was really insane. Cool. Sorry. And then so we've talked about, I think we've kind of went over our time for New York, but again, it was really fun. Next, we're looking forward to next year. This weekend, we will be on Friday. I'll be at Baltimore Comic Con, just kind of walking around. So if you see me and you want to say hi, I'll be the middle-aged, kind of fat dude with a bald head now. Just say hi, and then I'll be there on Saturday as well, or possibly Sunday. I don't know which day. Garrick's having a housewarming party. He just bought a home, so that's pretty cool. So we have to go to his housewarming party and mess up all his stuff. I'm gonna like lick all his silverware and put it back in the drawers. You know, hide some of his stuff like his toiletries around the house so he can't find them when he's trying to brush his teeth. You know, normal things that you do when you have a vendetta against somebody. But
is this about the tuxedos
it's
again?
about the tuxedos, okay?
Okay.
And it's never not going to be.
All right.
So the other thing that happened in the last couple of days, I think it was Sunday, was DC Fandome.
Not as good as the last year's.
Do we have effects that I can add? I think we do.
We have a laugh track. So,
you mean to tell me I've been cranking out these top tier jokes for weeks and I can't even get a little laugh?
Sorry.
That broke me like on an emotional level. So Fandome was this weekend and there was so much cool stuff. I watched most of it on my phone while Garrick was out shopping for furniture, and I was watching his house waiting for his washer and dryer to be delivered. So that was my weekend. Why are you looking like that?
There's an ant crawling on my neck.
Oh, okay.
You
So
want me
there
to
was
smash him.
there was so much awesome stuff at Fandome. DC kind of skipped. DC and Marvel both have kind of skipped big cons for the last couple years, like 18 months ish, so they could do their own interactive thing, which is fine. It's safe, it's secure, everybody can kind of participate in it this way. It's free, and it was really, really super cool. Fandome had a bunch of other things. I'm going to rapid fire them off, and then we can kind of talk about what we want to talk about, and then if you guys have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and we'll go from there. But they did a Peacemaker trailer, which was awesome. They did an Aquaman 2 The Lost Kingdom first look. That was pretty cool. Jason Momoa looking thick as hell. Black Adam first look. We finally got to see The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Black Adam when he came out into the fandom and decided to tell everybody that he was now the strongest person in the multiverse.
The power hierarchy of the DC universe is going to change. Shut up, Rock. God, if you don't fight Superman, then it's not going to change.
Boom. Get fucked. The Batman trailer, main trailer came out. I don't know if I'll ever recover from it. It was fantastic. Suicide Squad, the video game, Kill the Justice League, got a new, mostly QuickTime event. In fact, all QuickTime event trailer, which was weird because I would have thought that we would have got like some gameplay. And then Gotham Knights, the new upcoming video game that takes place in the Arkham verse, also debuted. It doesn't? Are you sure? Because
it's not. No.
What?
I'm telling you that it's not. The
Okay.
Suicide Squad is.
Suicide Squad's in that verse, but this game isn't?
Yes.
I thought, all right, I'm going to have to Google that.
Don't Google it. I know for a fact.
Okay, well.
Crisis is in chat. He can corroborate my
I
story.
don't trust LP.
Okay.
He, I sent him I drew a picture of him, sent it to him, and he didn't even frame it that I know of. So we got some footage of that. That game looks really fun. But let's dive in. There's a lot of stuff that I just threw at you. I want to know, what were you most excited about? That's not Batman, because we're going to talk about that in a couple minutes. You can't pick that. That one's the go-to.
Okay, well,
okay, you can pick that one.
all right,
Fine.
it was the Batman.
Let's go.
Other than the Batman, I really liked the Flash, first
I forgot the
teaser
Flash.
look, which I thought that was sick. We got a little shot of the back of Michael Keaton's Batman's head. So that was just a quick little teaser, but I think that movie's going to be really, really good. I'm excited for what they do with it and how it reshapes the DC Extended Universe moving forward.
They did do that confirmation that the Flash film will make everything ever canon to the DC multiverse, which kind of already happened with that crossover event, but now it's nice for them to finally commit and say, yes, this is going to be, everything is included, which means Warner Brothers, you got to give Henry Cavill his money. Just give the man his money and send him back to us. We miss him. Please, Henry.
It was weird talking about Superman. It was weird that all of this information came out about this new Superman project, Val Zod possibly getting a film produced by or starring Michael B. Jordan, and it was this huge thing, and they got a writer and yada 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 a few months back, and then there was
no news,
nothing about it,
not even a hint.
That was weird.
Not
but
even
yeah,
a squosh.
All the Superman stuff we have is the Superman and Lois TV show that's on the CW, which, to be completely transparent, I've only seen one episode of.
Oh yeah.
But that one episode was really good, and I hear good things, so I'll probably eventually watch it. But with those CW shows, it's hard because they'll break your heart like that.
Yep.
So it's tough to commit. And then they talked about Titans a little bit. Titans. So I almost threw up my mouth.
Where's the laugh track button?
DC live action TV, not spectacular, other than Doom Patrol.
Swamp Thing was awesome, and then they canceled it.
Yeah.
And I'll never forgive them.
But the movies are popping off. I mean, Black Adam looked cool. He like vaporized the guy. I'm excited to see Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, and we have Hawkman and Atom Smasher and all that fun stuff in Black Adam. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. I wonder how the Dr. Fate and Black Adam fight will go, and I hope it's similar to like Doctor Strange versus Thanos, but for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
Of just wild stuff, because we know from the Shazam film that magic is the only thing that can harm magic.
Yeah.
So if none of the other people in the Justice Society are able to do anything to Black Adam, then it would be kind of all on Dr. Fate's shoulders. But I mean, Hawkman's there. He has sort of magic powers depending on what source you're going to pick from. But yeah,
Hawkman's main power is just cool. Getting wrecked and then coming back to life.
Getting destroyed. But yeah, I'm excited to see that. But I think The Flash is probably what I'm most excited for out of those like crop of DC Extended Universe films that are coming out. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I'm not super pumped for Aquaman. I like the first Aquaman. I thought it was fun. But this whole Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing's got me down, bro.
I know it does. He talks about it every day. Anyway, my favorite...
Sign my petition. I'm kidding.
Change.org. My favorite thing that I saw from all of Fandome was the Peacemaker trailer for HBO. I thought it looked fantastic.
Oh, Peacemaker is going to kill for sure.
James Gunn, I think it's a true testament to the capabilities of James Gunn and how far John Cena has come as an actor. I've seen almost everything that John Cena's ever been in, and it's not like I'm like some weird John Cena super fan.
You are. You seen Fred the movie?
No, I've seen most.
You've
stuff
seen Fred the movie. He confirmed it,
anyway,
ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway, but so I've seen most stuff that John Cena has been in, and I think that he's come a long way as an actor. And seeing him in the Suicide Squad was fantastic role for him, and I immediately wanted out of all the characters in that movie, I immediately wanted more of that character after seeing it and getting a whole show written by James Gunn,
He directed 5 of the episodes, I think.
So there's a lot. There's going to be a lot of the same chemistry that you see there. Vigilante was in the trailer.
Vigilante looks like he's going to be a ton of fun. Yeah, just hiding around. Yeah, I'm being sneaky,
being a goofball. Yeah, and it just looks like it's fun. And there's going to be some absolutely batshit action. And Robert, I think was it Robert Patrick that was his dad? The T-1000 was his dad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think they're going to take a little bit of liberties there, because in the comic books his dad was a Nazi scientist, but so most Nazis aren't alive now, so he'll be something else. But it was cool to see the T-1000 show up.
Yo, can I give a quick shout out to cancel culture? I know that sounds crazy to say, but I'd like to give a quick shout out to cancel culture, because without you, we wouldn't have the Suicide Squad, and we wouldn't have Peacemaker show coming up. So way to go, guys. This is the one good thing that you've done. And we're also getting a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special and Guardians 3. So, I mean,
that's part of cancel culture as well. James
I
Gunn's
think
back. That's what he's getting
at. I think that's part of Disney being like, maybe we jumped the gun on this one. Pun intended.
Ooh.
Let's get that man back, but,
Bob Iger showed up to his doorstep, and he said, James, Bubba. And James went, no. And he said, I got 2 duffel bags full of cash. And James said, bring it in. And they went back to work.
Exactly.
But yeah, the Peacemaker show looks really fun. The part of the trailer that got me the most was when his pet eagle, was hugging him. Mm-hmm. That was just ridiculous. I mean, who else can get away with that but John Cena and James Gunn? Nobody. That's who. So that's going to be really fun. And of course, the thing that everybody is excited for is the Batman.
Of course.
The Batman is going to be definitely... I mean, we've seen enough of it now to understand a little bit of the tone of the film.
I don't want to see any more.
And, yeah, Garrick's done. I'm good. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm glad that it's a movie that I think is going to explore the early years of Batman a little bit more so, and a little bit more like a 0 year one kind of approach rather than what The Dark Knight did, which was just kind of like give us some flashbacks and then he comes back and now he's Batman kind of a thing. You got like a little bit of Batman of that in Batman Begins, but so I think it's going to be really good. I like the action sequences. I like the set design. The cinematography looks awesome. Zoe Kravitz. We're talking about Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz is great. I think she's going to be an amazing Selena Kyle. I'm excited to see her transformation into Catwoman. But I'm super excited to see Paul Dano as the Riddler.
Yeah, the Riddler looks wild.
In the second trailer, they showed us almost nothing of him. Just that one little bit at the beginning, really, and it was mostly Colin Farrell as the Penguin, which was kind of like the main focus of like the villain and of course Catwoman. But yeah, I think they're keeping that under wraps, keeping it as much of a secret as they possibly can. So we're very surprised when the film comes out because we have no clue what he's doing. We don't know his plan at all. Mm-hmm. It's not like a regular old Marvel trailer where they tell you what the bad guy's up to in the trailer.
I can already tell you what's going to happen. You ready? It's a bait and switch move. They're showing you Paul Dano. You're thinking that this is going to be, oh, that's Paul Dano's version of the Riddler. He's a little bit weird. He's got like this trench coat on, the glasses, the goggles kind of thing. He's not the Riddler. Jim Carrey's coming back as the Riddler, full suit from Batman Forever. It's already confirmed. I've seen the set photos.
You got that scoop from Grace Randolph, did you?
I did. We're friends on Twitter.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But yeah, obviously that's really important. Now, out of the 2 video games that were announced, there were 2 different games. There was Justice League, there was Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, and Gotham Knights.
Right.
Which one of those 2 games would you say that you are more excited for?
This one's tough. It's really tough because I'm a big fan of both properties. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited to play as my boy Tim Drake in Gotham Knights, but I think
I want to be Batgirl the most. I think
honestly, I'm more excited for Suicide Squad. It just looks like, I don't know. It just looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and it looks like something very, very different from the tone of like the Arkham series, which was pretty serious most of the time, and Gotham Knights seems to have that same sort of seriousness. So a DC video game made by the same company, Rocksteady, that made the Arkham games, doing something a little bit different, a third-person kind of shooter with the Suicide Squad, and having a lot of like gut-punching humor. And I think all of the boss fights are going to be crazy because you're going to be fighting the Justice League. So, of course, you're going to have cool fights against Batman or Green Lantern or The Flash or Wonder Woman or Superman, obviously. So, I think I'm more excited for the Suicide Squad just based on the humor and the different sort of play style and anticipation that the boss fights are going to be very, very, very fun. But it's close.
I gotta say that I think I'm a little bit more excited for Gotham Knights.
Okay.
And I think that the reason that is primarily because they're going to be debuting the Court of Owls. Have you heard of these guys?
I have.
Sorry, hold on. This is the mask that I wear when I just go out to the store to get like groceries, you know, and they can't stop me.
I'm following the mandates.
Have my wraparound sunglasses, but yeah, I think that overall it looks spooky. You know, like really spooky as a character. Mm-hmm. Like the Court of Owls. They got talons. They got guys that wear tuxedos.
Mm-hmm. Just like our waiters at the steak restaurant.
All right, this podcast is
over. But yeah, Gotham Knights looks cool. Luckily, you have your Court of Owls mask there signed by the man who created them, Scott Snyder. I don't know who that bottom signature is.
Greg Capullo.
Is that his?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got one signed at C2E2 and one at Baltimore. So this has been around the house for quite a while.
2014.
Yeah, it's been years, but yeah, it's really cool to have. It's been hanging on one of my guitars for like a month. So but that's pretty cool. I am really excited for that game. I like the idea of being able to play as I like the fact that both of these games are going to give me the opportunity to play as a bunch of different characters instead of like the Arkham first, where you're just going to be Batman. And then sometimes you'll be Batman in his goddamn Batmobile for like 11 missions straight. Mm-hmm. But these games will be really fun. And it's just cool to see more DC video game content coming out. I am firmly in the camp. I want a Green Lantern video game set up like Mass Effect. I think it'll be awesome. Make it happen. And I think it's time. I think we need somebody out there with big brains and a lot of guts to come out and make a new Superman game. Something.
Nah.
Okay, well.
Make a Wonder Woman game. That's what I want. Wonder Woman's got all the equipment. She's got the shield, the sword, the lasso, do crazy combos, fight big monsters.
You just described God of War. I've played that game.
Okay, well,
now
do that with Wonder Woman.
Yeah, there you go. We're done.
That's what I want.
All right.
Thank you.
I'll make it happen.
He doesn't have a lasso.
I'll call my people.
All right. Call Grace and let her know that that's the next rumor we need to start. So DC starts thinking about it. Maybe this is a good idea.
It's crazy that that's how it works. Like, let's just start posting rumors, and then maybe it'll happen.
I actually heard that they are working on one.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah.
Who? What studio?
I can't release that information, but they should be announcing it soon.
Very soon.
Yeah, like
tomorrow.
Maybe not tomorrow.
2 days.
But
3 max.
Just tell everyone you heard it at the Key Issues podcast that a Wonder Woman game in the vein of God of War is coming out, and it's going to be an Xbox exclusive.
So, that is... Well, anything else from Fandome that you wanted to discuss?
Nah.
Nah, okay.
We got... Well, I mean, the milestone stuff was cool.
Yeah.
I wanted a Static Shock video game.
Well,
Me and Drew had a bet that they were going to announce a Static Shock video game.
They did mention that he's
getting everything but a video game. Yeah. He's getting a show. He's getting a
new
movie,
comic.
He's getting a new comic. But I can't make a video game. Maybe he'll get a game based on one of those.
Actually, I have it from sources of mine that he's getting a video game.
Well, let's go. Drew owes me some money then.
More information will be revealed.
Good.
I don't know when, but soonish.
Eventually.
That's either a month, 2 years, 10. I don't know, but it's getting made.
It's coming down the pipeline. I mean, how long did it take for this Black Adam film to be, put?
I think it was announced.
They've been working on
it was announced
years.
when The Rock was WWE champion, like 1998. So it just got made.
Yeah.
So we got a couple minutes left. So while we're rambling on, if you guys have questions for us, as is customary with the Key Issues podcast, feel free to drop
some
anything that you have.
I see a question right here.
Ah, crap. I was hoping we'd get out.
What?
I was hoping we'd get out of it without questions.
Oh.
I was kidding, but...
Tanner Nguyen asks, will you do an update on Justice League vs. Avengers? I'll do an update for you right now. Superman kills everyone instantly before they realize what's going on, and then it's over.
I'm going to clip that from this week's podcast.
Go ahead.
Make a nice new thumbnail for it, and it'll be 30 seconds long.
That was like 10 seconds. That was like 2 seconds.
No, because we're going to add all this part in there, too.
Oh.
Just to give it a little length, a little girth to the video.
Oh, okay.
And then we're going to upload it.
As a YouTube short, maybe.
Yep. It'll be on our TikTok.
Yep.
And then we'll do a little dance afterwards.
Kang, Sylvie, new Cap, Sam, whoever you want. Superman throws him into the sun.
They're all dead.
Scarlet Witch.
Finished. Breaks her neck.
Yep.
Rips her head off.
Eviscerated. Sorry.
Evil Superman for the win.
Hate to tell you.
It's all right back to the beginning of the podcast.
Actually, you know what? Aquaman does it. Forget Superman. Aquaman beats all the Avengers by himself.
He is insanely powerful.
He pulls back and launches that trident through every single one of their heads in a straight line and kills them all instantly.
Michael Myers asks, Do you think the Punisher actor should return to the MCU?
Yes.
John Bernthal. Yeah, he should. He should come back. I think he was a great Frank Castle. They played Frank really interestingly in Daredevil and in his 2 seasons of his show. They did a really good examination of like PTSD and trauma within not only soldiers but in just within people who commit horrible acts of violence. And I thought that the way that they wrote Jigsaw was not great, but definitely interesting for a character that's essentially kind of like a dipshit, like mob psycho. But I thought they made him kind of cool. So I would definitely like to see John Bernthal come back as Punisher. And it's because Punisher's one of those characters that just prints money. He's a very, very popular character. I'm surprised that the GOAT of all time, Daredevil, isn't getting a new show on Disney Plus, and these other characters haven't.
He is. First of all,
oh, Grace Randolph told you?
No, it's just basic logic. He's gonna be in Spider-Man. They're gonna give him a season 4. Don't even worry about it. There's nothing to worry about. It's fine.
The day that it's announced,
there's no need. I'm telling you right now.
I'm gonna have to take off work. I'm gonna be too happy.
You be happy right now. Take tomorrow off. Okay. I'm telling you that it's gonna happen. Would I lie?
All right. If my boss is watching, I'm sorry. I was just excused from work by Garrick for something that hasn't been announced.
You excused yourself.
Okay.
You wanted to be taking the day off. I'm just giving you the excuse.
Crisis asks, he says, I dropped something on my toenail and now it's black. What do I do? How about edit those TikTok videos that I was asking you to put together?
I think you should drop something on all your other toes so that matches.
Oh, that's actually a really good plan, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's good. Actually, Crisis, we got a chit chat, man. We got some videos that we need to get done. Crisis is our editor. And
I don't.
You're the only one that I used them. Never mind. We'll talk about it. It's on offline.
I don't have anything in the pipeline.
I got tons of stuff. I want you chopping up videos. We're going to turn them into TikToks. We're going to put little dances on them. We're going to get 1 million fans in other countries. Then this time next year, we're going to be hanging out with The Rock, buying cryptocurrency or something. I don't know. Can Superman solo the Eternals? Well, we haven't seen the Eternals in film yet. Based off of the,
they look pretty weak. He probably could.
Based off of the,
I'm not impressed. Is what.
Based off of what we've seen in the trailers, yeah, he immediately eviscerates them. But
we don't know.
There could be some other stuff in the films that they do that's pretty cool. Soloing a Celestial might be difficult, considering we've seen them create a galaxy in one panel already.
Superman's not worried about that.
So we don't know. El Divino Vega donated $2 to us. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. And he asks, any thoughts on the Injustice animated movie?
I haven't seen it.
We actually discussed it earlier in the podcast, so you can always do the replay and discuss that. But we haven't seen it yet. I've just heard.
I read the comics, and the comics are good. I mean,
yeah, I've heard that it's a kind of a jumbled mess, and they have attempted to shove way too much crap.
They should have just made it a series.
Yeah, why not do that? It's not like you.
Speaking of series,
you got your own streaming platform, Warner Brothers, with HBO Max. Just do that.
Yeah,
do that.
I watched the first episode of the Aquaman animated show. And it was pretty good. I chuckled a couple times. Just a little goofy, little fun time. It's if you're a fan of like Adventure Time, you'd probably like the Aquaman show a lot. It's pretty much the same kind of humor. So
cool.
Yeah.
Helen also asks, where would you scale Carnage in the MCU? Since Ride is stronger than Venom, would his offspring be stronger than Venom's Carnage? I don't know.
We talked about it a little bit in our most recent video, Venom versus Venom, but Carnage is, compared to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's not like one of the top tier. Like he couldn't fight Hulk, or he couldn't fight Thor or any of those characters. He couldn't fight Iron Man. He'd get destroyed. But he could fight Spider-Man, yeah. So he's around Spider-Man's level of strength. Captain America, Spider-Man.
What about Spider-Man with the Iron Spider suit?
He gets one shot. But
okay.
If Spider-Man doesn't have the Iron Spider suit, then so that's, I guess, where you kind of want Carnage to be. You want Carnage to be a little stronger than Spider-Man. So
thank God we have the fans that we do, because Michael Myers just reminded me, shout out to Natalie Portman. We haven't done it this week. Natalie, our inspiration.
I do it every day before I start my day. I get on my hands and knees in my closet.
It's the weirdest thing is like Garrick wouldn't let anybody touch his Natalie Portman posters when he was moving in. He made a little shrine. It has a candle that's like, I don't know where he got it. It's a big candle. He lights it. He prays to it. It's his Mecca is that poster.
I have a lock of her hair in there.
He bought it off eBay though, so who knows whose hair it is. We gotta hope that it's Natalie Portman.
Yeah, there was a video of someone cutting it off her head and running away. So
putting it in a baggie.
Seemed legit.
We're gonna get demonetized. We're so weird.
For what?
I don't know. Something weird. Being weird.
Being weird's not grounds to get demonetized. I'll be as weird as I want.
Spark asks, "Did you like the Batman trailer?" Yeah, it's changing the way we view life and existence as a whole. So yeah, we're really excited for that movie, film, cinema. That is about it for today. We're pretty much out of time. We've actually run a little bit over. Thank you guys for hanging out with us this week. We will try our very best to do.
We'll be back. We'll be back with more podcasts. We'll be back with regular podcasts. We're gonna have great topics. We're gonna have great conversations, and we're gonna have great reviews. And you guys love our reviews. You can't get enough of them, but we don't have enough to review. Do you want us to review Dune? We're gonna go see Dune tomorrow. We could review Dune next week. Let us know if you'd like us to review Dune. I'll say review again if I want to.
We also in the future will have a very awesome special guest that's planning on working with us. I don't want to announce anything until all the details are finalized, but we'll have.
Here's a hint. Nick said his name like 30 times in the first 10 minutes. Of
You're
the
right. You're right. It is Dwayne the Rock Johnson. No, so
let's go.
We'll discuss it. We'll discuss it. Probably post stuff on our channel in the community section and in our Discord. So make sure you're on there. Follow us on Twitter. Our stupid names.
We have an applause button too.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you. Follow us on Twitter. Our dumb names and hashtags are on the screen, so follow that. And then I don't know. These action figures are cool. Those ones are cool. My wife's asleep on the couch over there. You can't see her. That's hi. And then anything else you got?
Yeah, we always know that Garrick's got to end the podcast on a ramble and a rant, and it's just a couple of minutes long. And to end today's podcast, I would like to say, Nick was supposed to read Dune. He was excited to read Dune before the movie came out. I bought a great collector's edition copy of Dune at Barnes & Noble. I read through Dune, and every single day for the past 2 months, Nick has said, I'll blast right through it. I'll finish that book before the movie. Don't even stress about it.
I'm going to read it tonight and tomorrow.
He got his own copy of this collector's edition. His wife read the book. And we were all supposed to read the book before the movie, and Nick's like, "Don't worry, I'll read it. I'll blast through it." He said it last week. I remember. I was like, "There's no way in hell he's reading this book before the movie." And now it's in like less than 48 hours. He ain't reading this.
It's less than 24, and I think I could do it.
You think you could read a book tomorrow?
I'm starting tonight.
He's not gonna read it anyway. Thanks for watching, everybody. Right. Like he said, follow us on Twitter, and we'll see you next week with our review of Dune.
Thanks, guys. And remember the motto. What's the motto this week?
New York Comic Con and DC Fandome over everything.
That sounds good to me. Thanks, guys. Bye.
We're still live. Wait a second.
All right. Well, that's fine. So let's talk for a couple minutes about cancel culture.